Hello and welcome back to Invincible Asia. I'm George Clark and today I get to check out the Untold Story Part 2, released on Blu-ray by Vinegar Syndrome. Don't forget folks, before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring the bell and all that jibber jabber, and thank you very much for supporting Invincible Asia. So, as part of my last package from Vinegar Syndrome, which also included Magic Crystal, Journey to the West and Unmasking the Idol, I do believe, I'll get to those soon. I also got Untold Story 2, a Cat 3 movie from 1998 that I have never seen. I did talk about though, however, when I did a video about what trilogies and sagas that should be released on Blu-ray across the UK, mostly from Idiot Films. I did talk about the Untold Story trilogy being put out there. Now, they did release, Idiot Films did go on to release Untold Story 1 in a deluxe edition, which I loved. It was beautiful, so I guess we're not getting that trilogy. I just hope that with Vinegar Syndrome then putting out part 2 here, that they will follow that up with part 3. That would be pretty cool to see, and just to complete that collection. So it is also from Magnum Films, Danny Lee's production company, and I do believe he produces this but doesn't star in this. He did star in part 1, of course, and he does return for part 3, as does Herman Yao as the director. Herman doesn't direct part 2, but he does return for part 3. So I'm kind of guessing that may be the stronger one. This is directed by Andy Ng. I'll just hold this up so you can see it rather than listen to me blether on. But Andy Ng, he's a director that's not really too well known, I have to say. This is probably like his third film, maybe third or fourth film. And then he would go on to make the likes of Operation Billionaires and DeathNet.com with Simon Yam. He'd also make Jade Lung's Black Cat in Jail, which was a massive commercial failure, I suppose. I've yet to see it, but I haven't heard much about it, apart from the fact that it really didn't light up the box office. So I don't think he's too strong a director. That said, this could change my mind, I don't know. But yes, let's get stuck into it. Here we have some interesting artwork. I don't know what to think about it, I'm going to be honest. But it looks pretty cool. It does look pretty cool. I'm kind of going into this blind. I don't know a lot about the Untold Story 2. It's definitely not a direct sequel. You couldn't follow up Untold Story Part 1 with the same characters. But I also know that Anthony Wong does return in this movie. Now this time not as the killer but as a cop. So quite a change of pace. He's alongside Cheung, or Emotionless Cheung as I like to call him. I really don't know. I just can't have him, I'm sorry. I do know that also that year they both starred together, Anthony Wong and Cheung, both starred together in The Demon's Baby, which Vinegar Syndrome actually put out as part of a collection of 3 Cat 3 movies last year, I think it was, which I got. It wasn't bad. It could have been much better. But anyway, so they're in that. Melvin Wong, I do believe, pops up in there, as does Jamie Luk. He's a Shaw Brothers actor, Hong Kong filmmaker, director of Robotrix, things like that. Anyway, yes, very different artwork. And as you can see on top here, it's 2,941 of 5,000. So there may be some left there, who knows. Let me just pop this out. Now I have took the plastic off it because I did feel the disc was rattling around there. I just wanted to check. Also, it makes life a wee bit easier trying to get into these things. I should just really take the plastic off everything before I start. Here we go. Let's see, on the back, there's not, oh, that's unfortunate. There's really not a lot of extra features here, if any. There's a commentary track. Okay, so we have newly scanned and restored in 2K from its 35mm original camera negative, which is great. presented in its original Cantonese language soundtrack with newly translated English subtitles, as well as a Mandarin language dub track. Commentary track with film historian and author Sam Deegan. I have listened to her numerously on other releases in the last year, and I do enjoy what she puts out there. Double-sided poster, reversible sleeve artwork, newly translated English subtitles, just in case you didn't get that the first time. That's it. There's nothing else on there. There's no video retrospectives, there's no essays, there's no trailers, there's no interviews. It's a pretty bland release considering what Vinegar Syndrome quite often put out there and what they did with their 4K release of Ebola Syndrome. Okay, let's get stuck in, and I will first of all slide out, well, I'll show you this first because this is quite interesting. So Emotion Cheung, as you see here, and I think her name's Paulyn Sun or something like that. It might actually say on the back, yeah, Paulyn Sun. I haven't heard too much about her or know too much about her, but I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know what the buzz is around Emotion Cheung. I don't find him exciting at all. In fact, I find him to be a very, very poor and drab actor. Let me pop this out though. And they've released a few with him. They've also Biozombie, they released Vinegar Syndrome release, and he was in that, of course. And I don't know, he's a comedian or comedy actor, I suppose, but this will have to be, I'm guessing, a much more dramatic role for him. On this side, we have got one side of the slipcase there, as you can see, and on the reverse, the other. But I'm going to stick with the head in the fridge, which kind of excites me for what's to come. I mean, if this tops Untold Story, the original Untold Story from Herman Yao and Anthony Wong, which I very much doubt it's going to, I will be very, very surprised because I haven't heard a lot about this movie. Inside, here's the booklet, and then on the back, it just follows through there, as you can see. Okay, let me have a quick nosy through this because it doesn't look like there's a lot of pages going on. Another in-name only sequel gets lost in the shuffle. Okay. So 1998, Anthony Wong was I think he was pretty busy that year. I think he made about 10 movies in 1998, including Beast Cops, for example, Storm Riders, things like that. I mean, yeah, I've got high hopes for it. I really don't know what's gonna surprise me or shock me. This looks like it is a poster for both sides of the slipcover again. Yep, it is indeed. So we have this murderous looking woman with looks like a carving knife, a very large carving knife. I'm guessing this is set in a restaurant again, much like the first one. Although, is it on a true story, based on a true story? I don't know. But we're going to find out pretty soon because there's nothing else I can really share with you there. That's it. Pretty poor release in terms of extras and that. But I'm going to go now, check it out. Hope that the film itself blows me away. Hope that Sam Deegan's commentary blows me away. And hope that the 2K restoration does the job for me. But I will be back very soon to let you know what I think. So, just back after checking out the Untold Story 2 on Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome, aka Human Flesh Bun 2, as its original title says on screen. Don't know what to think about the movie. I'm going to have to watch it for a third time just before I put my review out on the website. I did watch its original Cantonese with English subtitles. The picture quality looks fantastic. I have to say, it looks amazing. Then I watched it again with Sam Deegan's audio commentary, which was very informative. She has some great points there about the Cat 3 genre in general, Hong Kong movies, and of course, Untold Story 2. Do you know what? It wasn't a terrible film, I have to say. There's a pretty strong premise behind it. I think it's subconsciously being compared to the first one, which it's never going to touch. Anthony Wong now playing a bumbling kind of cop character was a bit, it threw me for a little while, but it eventually comes round. The first half of the movie was very comedy based, just silly comedy and melodrama. So it took a wee while for things to really kick off, and that was at the halfway mark when the first real gruesome murder comes in. Bodies are cut up and hung up, barbecued and hung up in the shop for people to eat. So there is a comparison there with the first one. There's a certain retreading of how things are done, but still very, very differently. But it's the background stories of some of the characters that really kind of stood out to me. So it's not terrible by any means. The violence itself, I would say, was toned down somewhat in comparison to the first one. But yeah, again, there was still enough there to make you kind of cringe. There were still enough moments of category 3, let's just say. At that same sort of time, Emotion Cheung starts to get a wee bit more dramatic, but he doesn't, I don't know, he just doesn't really pull it off, I have to say. I would have went for a stronger actor myself if that was the case there. But all in all, yeah, it was a pretty good watch. I have to admit, it was a good watch. I did enjoy it, and I think that second half absolutely makes up for what you're kind of getting pulled through in the first half of the movie there. But you know, it's not absolutely terrible. I'm still going to give it 1 thumb up as a release from Vinegar Syndrome, because it's not brilliant. There should have been so much more with this. Still, I feel the movie is worth checking out. If you can get it on sale, do that. But for me, I am glad that it's in my collection. Out now from Vinegar Syndrome. So thank you once again for watching another video here on Invincible Asia. Don't forget you can check out hundreds of others here on the channel. You can also show your continued support by heading over to my new merch store, or by checking out invincibleasia.com, where you can read my full movie reviews, and follow me on Instagram at InvincibleAsia. Until next time though, enjoy your Kung Fu, and I will see you soon.